Okay, so we're gonna get right into it, you guys, because there is a ton of content to discover. And if you're joining us on Facebook, and if you have questions, Marge is going to be watching uh, the Facebook video and just post your questions as we go. If you're joining me in Zoom, totally cool too. Marge, actually, if you can drop the link to Zoom for our Facebook friends to join there too. And if you join us in Zoom, then Marge will just let you in as we're going, because there's a lot of content. I want to make sure that I stay super focused with you guys, because I tend to get really excited about what I'm about to share with you. So um, okay, so let's get into it. How to double your wellness practice without having to work more or hire staff to manage things, because who wants to have to go through that? So this training is for staffless practitioners who want to have a full treatment schedule, really without the endless paperwork and phone calls to go with it. That can be completely exhausting. And listen, I may challenge you over the next hour, but we're going to do it together. So let's go ahead and dive in. You want a simple automated system that will allow you to be busy while enjoying your practice. I get it. You want to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it so that everybody gets what they need without you and your energy being in the mix every time. I get it. You want to serve more and earn more, and you want to work less, and you don't know where to start. Again, I get it. So you're tired of the trainings and the seminars and the coaching programs that send you spinning only to end up in the same place over and over again. Guys, I can't tell you the countless dollars and hours and energy that I spent on trying to fit this very square peg into a very round hole when it came to automating my practice. So here's the deal. This isn't for you if you don't like free content followed up by an insanely valuable offer. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. If you're still hanging with me, let me just tell you that at the end of the training, I'm also going to be offering up a fast action bonus. What is a fast action bonus? It's for action takers today only. I'm giving you the entire program of my practice SOP, which is where all of the things live for my practice to have. It's like the one happy place where all of the documents and the passwords and the systems and procedures and the scripts and the canned responses, all of that stuff lives. I'm not only showing you how to create that for your practice, but I'm giving you all of my stuff too. Not my passwords, but all of my systems and processes. Okay, so let's take a minute and just imagine that Tony gives me a call and he's like, Jody, I want to make a deal for the members of your community. Because me and Tony are like that, right? You guys know who Tony Robbins is. He's like the biggest dude when it comes to personal and professional development. He's the guy. So let's just go to Imagination Station for a minute and say that Tony calls me and he says, I want to make an offer to the members of your community. And what he says is, I'm going to bring the first practitioner on tour with me who doubles their practice with their ideal clients in the next 90 days without working more or hiring staff to help. I'm like, all right, I'll bite. Like, right? Why not? So again, he's saying to us, we're going to bring the first practitioner on tour who doubles their practice with their ideal clients in the next 90 days without working more or hiring staff to help. Marge, Angie's waiting in the waiting room. So here's what we see. There are two ways that people go about a challenge like this when it comes to this gorgeous man saying, hey, here, come on into my playground and play with me. The first person is going to throw everything at it. That's crazed Dr. Chrissy. And there's really no rhythm to her madness, right? The second person has all of her systems and procedures totally together. That's totally together, Tammy. And she's going to, not only does she have the systems in her practice together, but she's going to go about this challenge in an orderly fashion as well. So here's crazed Dr. Chrissy, and a lot of people can identify with her jam. She throws everything at it. She stays late, she comes in early, she has no time for all of the admin. She feels like she can never miss a call because it might just be a new person or client in need. Guys, I totally get it. I have been there, I have done that. She has a practice full of people who only come in for a few visits and then leave, adding to this constant need of new clients. She doesn't even know where to start when it comes to fitting more on her plate. You know, I'm just distracted here because I see that people are trying to get into the Zoom. Let me just exit out of here for a hot minute. Okay, view this. I want to let everybody in who wants to be with us. There we go. Okay. So then there's Totally Together Tammy, and some of you can relate with her too. So Totally Together Tammy is organized with her new clients. She has clear boundaries around how long she stays at the office. She has a system for her phone to catch all types of callers and give them what they need. And she has clear agreements with new clients and their care plans, keeping her schedule full. That's where we all want to be. We want the office to be where things are in order, right? So here's my question for you as we begin this training. Where are you at? Are you more like crazed Dr. Chrissy, or are you hanging out in your world more like Totally Together Tammy? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box what's more familiar to you. Do you have the stack of papers in the background on your Zoom camera, or do you have it going on? Does everything have its place, at least when it comes to your practice? Okay, it looks like I just want to see what you Crystal, I got you. Hang out. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. So it looks like we've got a pretty good mix of the crazed Dr. Chrissy and the Totally Together Tammy. So here's the deal. It's nice to meet you. If I haven't met you already, I got to meet Melanie. I got to meet Mickey. So I'm Dr. Jody Dinnerman. I've been in practice for April 1st. It will be 22 years as a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor here in New Jersey. My job is to help the Chrissies of the world discover their inner Tammy, because I know that we all have an inner Tammy. I stride every day to have my inner Tammy shine through, but believe me, every once in a blue moon, my inner Chrissy jumps out, right? So here's the thing. I was tired of going in circles with my practice, spending all of these hours and a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars, you guys, on systems that just weren't working for the solutions that I needed, right? So I would go to the training and the seminar and the convention on the thing, and I would leave there feeling like, am I the only one feeling like I missed the first half of this class? It just wasn't working for me. The hire, train, fire cycle got to be exhausting for me, and I had to figure it out because I have kids. I have a really busy life like we all do, and I wanted new clients, and I wanted to know what to do with them to get them to stay, and how to organize my time, but also what to do with the constant damn phone ringing, right? I wanted the phone to ring because I wanted my practice to build, but I couldn't seem to keep all of the balls in the air at once. So I birthed what's called the Staffless Practice Success System. And this is the system that really gave me the wherewithal to finally fill my practice with people who get what I do without working more or having to hire staff. At this point, my world looks like my practice is the easy part. I go to the office, I leave 10 minutes after my last client is done. It really is streamlined. And the cool thing is that I've developed a brilliant way to share all of it with you guys. So the Staffless Practice Success System truly allowed me to ditch the crazed Dr. Chrissy approach. And again, every once in a while, I'll tap my toe back into it, and I recognize it very quickly. I really wanted to create a profitable practice without having to work countless hours. And I see this over and over again for our students who join Soup School, that when they're starting with us, they're working like 40 hours a week, but only half of that is serving their clients. And you guys, those days need to stop. Everything needs to be automated. So automated without losing the personal touch. That's the key. So do you want to ditch the crazed Dr. Chrissy approach? That's the question for you, right? Because if you're happy with the chaos, again, go enjoy the rest of your day. But if you really want to streamline your systems, Marge, somebody's waiting in the waiting room, then you really want to hang tight with us and listen to what I have to say. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to break it all down. I'm telling you right now, this is going to stretch your brain and make you think outside the box. I might even say things that piss you off a little bit, but just hang tight with me and know that I'm always coming from a place of love. So there's really no guesswork with me. Okay, so here's the first thing I'm going to tell you is that mistakes are essential. You're going to fall down, get back up, and do it all over again, over and over and over again. And that's why they call it practice. I can't tell you how many mistakes. In fact, I've made so many mistakes when it comes to getting my systems right that I've recently branded myself an expert mistake maker and solution creator, because that's how many mistakes I make. But when let's take the example of raising kids. If your kid comes to you and says, Mom or Dad, I just made the biggest mistake, but here's what I learned from it. Of course, your response to your child is going to be, good for you for getting the lesson right. Right? So what I want to see for you is I want you to learn from my mistakes so that you can make your own mistakes and you don't have to repeat mine. So mistake number one, and there's no shame in this, right? You never really took the time or energy to prepare for success in practice. You may not even know what being prepared looks like, right? So because you're not clearly prepared, your values with time and money are a bit out of balance. So fair exchange. And you end up giving way too much only to take too little. We see it all of the time. And let's get into some details. So first and foremost, let me introduce you to Sally, okay? We've all got a Sally, at least one. Sally is the practice member, client, patient, whatever word that you use, who comes in 15 minutes late. She's got her 3 kids with her. 2 of them have dirty diapers. They're in every cabinet in your office. She is, because she's 15 minutes late, all of the people who are waiting before her, if they're waiting, are like, well, why is this woman walking in and taking my spot? She demands that you give her discounts on care. And when her mom is in from out of town, she wants her mom to experience a free session. That's Sally. Okay, we all have one. Sally is constantly pushing the boundaries of your practice. Okay, so here's the thing. If we have a Sally, we're giving her breaks on the discounts, we're giving her exceptions, and we're most importantly, you guys, we're giving her our energy, right? We want Sally to be in our office, though. We don't want to say, Sally, go find something else, as long as we're able to be clean and clear with our boundaries. So we end up giving her minimum $400 a month in discounts. When we say, don't worry about it, pay me next time, whatever it might be. Minimum, and you guys, I still do this, right? Because I may have a day when I go into the office and I'm not prepared. I'm out of exchange. I'm out of integrity with what my practice needs from me. But I have systems to back me up. That's the difference. And we're going to go over that. The exceptions that you make when she comes in 15 minutes late, let's say 4 times in a month, it ends up being hours, right? And then the amount of energy that Sally takes from you. So here's what I want for you. I want to see a balance of time, energy, money, effectiveness, attention, and focus. I'm just going to say that one more time. Time, energy. This is a screenshot picture, guys, right? And if you don't know how to screenshot, if you take your keyboard and you hit Command Shift and 4 all at the same time, it'll show you a little plus button and you can screenshot what you're looking at. So hi, Joseph. So time, energy, money, effectiveness, attention, and focus. That's what I want you to have fair exchange with in your practice. I give you this and you give me that. You don't go to a supermarket and barter with the checkout person to try to get a cheaper banana. You pay what the cost of the banana is, right? Because there's an understanding there. There's fair exchange there. So if you take the time and use the right tools to learn the basic values of your practice, these are core values, guys. That's what we're talking about. Even commit them to memory. My core values for my practice: organization, authenticity, integrity, community, fun, right? I want all of those things to be front and center when it comes to my relationship with Sally. As long as that's true, there will be no more exceptions with the Sallys of your practice and their requests. Okay, so deep breath, let's do it. The second mistake we see all of the time. You drop your personal style and your unique touch when you're attempting to automate your systems. I can't tell you how many times it happens that I call to make an appointment at my OBGYN or my eye doctor or my dentist or whatever it is, and they have an answer service. And it happened to me yesterday, you guys. I was booking we bring all kinds of amazing partners and teachers into the Staffless Practice Circle. And I was booking a podcast meeting with one of the big people in the wellness circle world, right? And I was dealing with their virtual assistant. Their virtual assistant was not familiar with their brand. Their virtual assistant was not familiar with who I was. all of the personal details got dropped, and it just made me feel slimy. It made me feel like, is this somebody who I really want to be bringing into the Staffless Practice community? So I want to make sure that you don't make this mistake, because you're going to need to have automation front and center if you're going to run a practice without staff. So let's just talk about the voicemail for a minute. The voicemail, or the service that greets your clients, fails to address who you are, what you do, in a personalized way, perhaps what you don't do too, and the callers end up dropping, their unique needs get dropped, right? Your text might even be automated. That never ever works. If you've got one of these texting systems that automatically sends a reply back, guys, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because you might have seen Sally at the supermarket last night at 5 o'clock, and then there's an automated text going out to her tomorrow morning saying, hey, I haven't seen you in a week. You can't do it. It can't be automated without losing personal touch, right? Your emails need to be personalized too. So here's what happens. People are greeted by an impersonal experience and they're turned off to your practice, and then they miss the opportunity to be served by you. You need to know, you need to have a voicemail that works for you, because obviously you can't do it all. Let's say that you try answering the phone over and over and over again. The phone is hands down the #1 pain point of staffless practitioners. What do they do with it? Do people call their cell? Are they answering the phone when they're at Johnny's soccer practice? Like, when does enough become enough? Because what ends up happening, if you look at the screen, let's say it's 10 minutes per call and it's 4 calls a day minimum, right? Let's say it's 4 days a week. That's 160 minutes of call time listening to stories and complaints and distractions. The stories and the complaints and the distractions all have their time and place. I'm not telling you not to listen to them. I'm telling you that if you can make the phone part the automated part without losing the personal experience, it's going to save you about 2-3 hours of time each week. And the system that we put in place is called the voicemail message funnel system. You guys, it's so good. So in my voicemail message funnel, it looks like new clients, returning clients, and spam callers. Those are the 3 people that often call in. One of the first things we have our students do when they join our community is a phone study. And you're actually doing a study of who's calling your office, and then you're organizing those callers into a few categories. And then this is the most important part, and I'm going to show you how to do this in a hot minute. And then you're going to create an automated experience for each one of those callers. I think where people drop the ball the most is they do one solution for any type of caller, and then the person calling into your office doesn't feel seen or heard, and then they don't get to know, trust, and love you. And then they choose somebody who's down the street doing it differently. Here's the thing though, when you automate the right practice tools in a personalized way, you can create automation connection with your clients that will lead to practice growth. You can do it while you're at Johnny's soccer practice without being on the phone with your client. It's cool, right? So here's the third mistake that we see happen all the time. You don't make it crystal clear to your community who you serve and what you do. We talk a lot about the natural practice growth process in the Staffless Practice Success System. It's basically what, just by having a storefront or an office in your town, your practice is naturally going to grow. People are naturally going to get to know who you are. It's going to happen, right? That's called the natural practice growth process. It's not what you're throwing at the wall to see what sticks. It's just you being in existence. The universe is going to acknowledge you. But if you don't make it crystal clear to your community through your branding and your marketing efforts, what you do, who you serve, and what you don't do and who you don't serve, your natural practice growth process is going to be suffering. So here's what happens, okay? I'm really into visuals, so here's the visual for you. If you look at the green for a minute, if you have a clear message, then you end up with happy clients who benefit from your specific skill set. And then your happy clients refer their happy community, because who do happy people hang out with? Generally happy people, right? Miserable people, misery loves company, right? They're going to find it, they're going to find the miserable people. Smokers find smokers, drinkers find drinkers, and so on and so forth, right? If you have a confused message, people are going to come in for a few visits. They're not really going to get what you do. And here's what I want for you. every step along the way with a new practice member, whether you're a PT, an OT, a DC, a therapist, an acupuncturist. We have a lot of acupuncturists in our community. I want people to know what you do from their first point of contact with you. I don't want them coming in for a few visits and leaving not knowing what you do. In my world, I'm a straight chiropractor, meaning I just focus on chiropractic. I don't do a whole lot other than chiropractic. And these are my tools, right? It's imperative to me that when somebody comes in, from the time that they press submit to booking an appointment with me to the time that they say yes to my care, I want seeds dropped all along the way for them to know what subluxation is, which is chiropractic's term for stress in the nerve system, right? I want them to know what the safety pin cycle is, which is how we explain our philosophical component of chiropractic. So what are the seeds that need to be planted in your new client experience? And are they getting planted all the way through? Are you more in the green or are you more in the red? Crazed Dr. Chrissy is all about the red, you guys. I'm telling you right now. Then what happens is people come in for a few visits and they leave, and they go and they spread the word about the doctor down the street who sees people just for a few visits, right? If that's not what you want for your practice, you got to change it now. Okay, Dr. Jill's in the waiting room. There we go. Okay, so here's what we see. We see something called the leaky bucket syndrome. And the leaky bucket syndrome, let's talk about Sally for a minute. Let's say Sally starts care with me and she comes in for a few visits. I don't make it clear to her what I do and what I don't do. She leaves when she thinks that she's done. And then I have to go out and I have to fill the spots that Sally was taking. And then I start all over again, right? And this is the leaky bucket syndrome. As opposed to Dr. Jones, who has got it going on. Dr. Jones is a pediatric and prenatal physical therapist. He sees babies and bellies all day long. He educates his clients all the way along the way. His very happy pregnant women and new moms go hang out with other very happy pregnant women and new moms and say, hey, do you know about Dr. Jones, the guy? And he's also told to this, his story is shared with all of the OBGYNs and the doulas and the midwives. They all know about Dr. Jones because he makes it so crystal clear. You know, when somebody becomes the sports physical therapist or the hormone acupuncturist or the pediatric chiropractor, they started that rumor. The practitioner branded themselves, I'm the guy. I'm the one that takes care of the babies and bellies, right? Because, and I did that for my practice because that's who I wanted to spend my day around. Most of our practitioners, when they're lost and they're kind of floating out in the ethers, they're not crystal clear on who they want to be serving. And that's one of the biggest mistakes we see happen. So when you plug the leaks, we're going to talk more about this later, we see all of the things that you want for your practice, we see them come true for you. If you get really clear on who you want to serve and how to reach them and how to serve them, the leaky bucket syndrome can be fixed and your natural practice growth process will thrive. I promise you. So here's my question for you. Do you believe that you can double your practice? Because that's the name of this whole training, how to double your practice without having to work more or hire staff. If you use the right systems, which is in this case, the Staffless Practice Success System. Give me I'm not really sure, or a yes, absolutely in the chat box. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea while you guys are responding. I love it, Angie. Hi, Angie. Yes, Melanie's with me too. Anybody kind of on the fence and not sure yet? Okay, I got it, Crystal. All right, let's keep going then. Okay, so here's the thing. The Staffless Practice Success System is the only system you need to double your practice without hiring staff. There are so many systems out there to grow your practice, but this is the system to do it without having to hire or work more. So it's 3 pillars, guys. We're going to talk about 3 pillars: preparation, automation, and connection. Let's dive into the first pillar, which is preparation. So when we talk about preparing for success, what I want to see for you is I want to see you ready for the success that's waiting for you. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to see your huge muscles. You know, I'm a CrossFitter. If you've been in my playground for a while, you know that I talk about CrossFit until I'm blue in the face. And my big goal right now is to get a few pull-ups in a row without any bands. I put bands by my feet, I grab onto the rig, I jump high, and then I pull myself up, okay? On the days that I go to the gym and I'm feeling like crap, I can say I'm feeling like shit about myself. Maybe I even ate sugar the day before. I didn't get enough sleep, whatever it is. I look at that rig and I it's hard to even jump on the bar. I definitely have bands by my feet, right? If I go to the gym and all my ducks are in a row and all my check boxes are checked, Marge, we've got somebody in the waiting room, then I look at that rig and I jump up on that sucker and I pull myself up, right? It's in between my ears where I get stuck. It's time to prepare yourself and your practice for the success that's waiting for you. Here's how we prepare: time, value, money, mission, vision, solutions. This is another screenshot, guys. Okay, so Command Shift 4 on your keyboard, take a picture of this. I want balance with time for you, values, money, your mission, your vision, and your solutions. Time, let's start there. When it comes to time, I want you to have a really clear picture of how you're spending your time. So I'm working on writing a book right now. I actually have 2 books that I'm finishing. And I could spend all day sitting in front of my computer focusing on my book. But I also have a practice. I actually have 2 practices. I run a school. I have one-on-one clients. I do all of these things, right? I have 2, oh yeah, I have 2 kids. I have a house to take care of. I have a puppy, all of these things. So I have to have it scheduled out. I have to stop myself when I want to go 5 hours in a row writing. Does that make sense to you? So if you're the kind of person who wants to spend all day focusing on your marketing plan, or all day focusing on how am I going to build my practice, or all day on your technique, whatever it is, right? You're out of balance and you got to get in balance. This is called a time map, what you're looking at on the screen. And again, one of the first things we do with our new soup students. So healthy boundaries equal healthy consequences. Time signatures, cluster booking, these are all terms that you'll get familiar with. I want you to have an ideal schedule for your ideal life to work for you. I want you to share your time with your friends and your family. There is nothing worse than being at Johnny's soccer practice. I don't know who Johnny is, but this is just the example I'm using today, and thinking about work. When you're at Johnny's soccer practice, I want you to be thinking about Johnny and his new cleats. Does that make sense to you guys? So when you're working, you work. When you're not working, you don't work. Money. Money is a big one for a lot of practitioners. And a lot of practitioners have this syndrome where they feel like they need to give it away for free. Those days are done. Okay, so here's the thing. If you create fair exchange with your practice members, you set the bar where you want the bar to be. I promise you that they'll take your lead on it. Okay, you're looking here at a budget, and the budget is one of the things that we give you in that bonus that I was talking about earlier. It's a formatted budget. Listen, I just met with a new financial advisor, and for my for the book and the school and all the things that we're doing, and I sent him a copy of my budget, and I knocked his bombas right off his feet. He was shocked that I had this stuff so organized. I want you to have your money organized. The more organized you have your money, the more successful you're going to be. I promise that's true every time with time and money. Then we have your mission statement. So if you take your core values, remember before I was talking about excitement and organization and joy and connection and abundance and integrity, right? Those are our practice core values. If I take each one of those words and I sew them together into a statement, I'm going to end up with my mission statement. I hope that that makes sense to you. I'm going to say it one more time because that's a loaded concept. So let's say that your core values, and you know what your core values are because they're what drive your decision making. Let's say your core values are fitness, joy, connection, integrity, and family. Okay. Then if you take each one of those core values and you link them together with sentences, a few sentences, you'll see that before you have your mission statement. I want you to know your mission statement. I want you to know your mission statement like you know the freckle on the back of your hand. I want you to commit it to memory. I want it in front of your practice members. I want it front and center so that when Sally comes knocking on your door, you know what your mission statement is, you know what your practice policies are because they're in support of your mission statement, and it will be a lot easier for you to say, I'm sorry, Sally, that doesn't work for me. Okay. So when we don't prepare, our practice boundaries slide. When we prepare, we're connected to what our practice can and cannot allow. You guys, it's not first grade, it's not second grade, right? But sometimes it feels like it is. Sometimes you just need to say, I'm sorry, but my practice policies don't support that. Our system will teach you exactly what needs to be done to prepare for success in practice by creating healthy boundaries around time, energy, and money. Dr. Maria Amick is one of our students. She's one of the kindest people I've ever known. She says, Dr. Jody's systems around preparing for practice success have totally shape-shifted my experience in practice, and she's been around the block a time or two. Let's get into automation. So make your phone messaging personalized. I have clients hire me, pay me thousands of dollars to create what I'm about to teach you. You guys don't need to hire me and pay me thousands of dollars. Just do what I'm about to tell you to do, okay? You need to have messaging for the people who are reaching out to you looking for your care. You need to have solutions for your phone, your emails, and the texting. The most important part of this, please hear me say this, is that your messaging is HIPAA compliant. If you are a wellness practitioner, you have to make sure that the way that you're communicating with your practice members is compliant. Okay, I said it. So the automated message funnel system is what we use for the phone. You're going to figure out what your type of callers are. So let's say that Dr. Melanie took 3 days and did a phone study. And she said, okay, Jody, on Monday at 10, Jane Doe called and she wanted me to schedule her. On Monday at 12, Sally Brown called and she wanted a super bill. On Monday at 5:30, John Smith called and he needs to reschedule his appointment. Those are 3 calls that Melanie can track, and she can identify 2 of those 3 callers needed an admin solution. One of those 3 callers was a new practice member, okay? At the end of the 3 days, you guys just take a notebook that looks like this, put it by your phone, if you have a phone that people actually call. And you're gonna write down for 3 days, the first name of the person calling, 3 words or less of what they're calling about, and the time of day. Okay, don't answer your phone for 3 days. Have a message that's going to catch them on the other end of the phone call. If you tend to use your cell phone for the office, just create a note on your cell phone, or even better, just listen to the messages all at once and write it down on the paper. You want the columns, you want the time of day, you want the first name of the person that's calling, and in 3 words or less what they're calling about. At the end of the 3 days, you're going to naturally have a few groups show up, surface. Does that make sense? So type 1, type 2, and type 3. In my very busy family wellness world, I've got new clients, current clients, and people coming back. Those are really my only callers because my entire practice knows not to call me if they need a super bill because I tell them from the very beginning. Texting is always best. So we have a catch-all message for all of the callers who are calling in, and then we direct them to where they need to go to get their solution without you being in the mix. I hope that that makes sense to you. So here's another visual for my visual learners. You're going to address all the callers, you're going to give them specific directions, and you're going to provide pertinent information. Guys, this is another example of a screenshot opportunity. Okay, I'm going to read you what people hear if they call my office right now. You've reached LightSource Chiropractic. We specialize in gentle wellness care since 2001. Texting us is the best way to get an immediate response. Please text 908-224-4840. Again, that's 908-224-4840. If you're new to our practice, please visit us online for more information at lightsourcechiropractic.com. These are real deal. This is real deal. So you can text me, you guys. You can check out my website just to see how all of this flows. If you're a current practice member with an admin or scheduling need, please text us now. If you're new to our practice, please visit us online for more information at lightsourcechiropractic.com. All other callers, you're welcome to leave a message here, but it will take some time to get back to you. Make today awesome. That's the voicemail message funnel. You see how I directed all of the callers. And then the third category in my world is a catch-all. It's all other callers. So that's the spam. That's the insurance companies, which really never call my office. That's the I left my purse at your office caller, whatever it is, right? So if you follow my lead on this and create your own voicemail message funnel, you will not have to answer the phone anymore. I love it. Use the right systems, guys, to automate your client needs without making your time and energy part of the process. And our system will teach you what to automate and how to do it efficiently. Obviously, there are some things that you don't want to automate, right? If somebody just got in a car accident and they need your attention, don't automate that experience for them. You have to use your judgment on what needs to be automated and what doesn't. But what I am going to say, let me say one more thing about that. You do want to have time in your very busy schedule for those calls to happen. You want to have natural gaps. We were just talking about this morning, natural gaps in your schedule so that you can talk to Sally about her baby brother's car accident and how it damaged her inner child. Like Sally might need that time with you. So you're going to schedule consult calls for Sally. Okay. So Dr. Russ Rosen is another huge leader that hangs out in our circle and actually teaches in our school. He's amazing. He says, I've been deep inside of Dr. Jody's program and it's cutting edge and truly amazing. Earning these words from somebody like Dr. Russ Rosen is a big deal to me. Dr. Danielle Eaton, she's a hero of mine. She's one of my favorite people on the planet. And she says, time, not money, is your most valuable resource. You simply cannot make more time. True. Dr. Jody's program will show you how to automate your practice system so that you can focus on what matters most. And both Dr. Russ and Dr. Danielle come into my school where we teach the Staffless Practice Success System, and they teach their brilliance, what they're really good at. So let's get into connection. Are you ready? Who do you think you need to connect with in order to really achieve success when it comes to staffless practice? I'm going to actually ask the chat, who do you think that you need to connect with? Let's see if anybody gets it. If anybody gets it, I'll send you the first chapter of my book for free. Dr. Angie, you're not allowed to answer. Who do you think you need to connect with for success in practice to happen? Anybody want to chime in? Ourself. Oh, I love it, Melanie. Oh my God, Dr. Jill said the same thing. Yes, anyone. All right, Jody, we're going to talk more about that. I want clarity on that. So connecting with ourselves is all about the preparation, right? It's giving ourselves, it's taking our time map and making sure that self-connection and self-care are at the front and center of what we're doing. Anybody else have guesses on who needs to be connected with in order to really succeed in practice without staff, so that you don't have to pound pavement over and over and over again? Patience, yes, Crystal. Our ideal client, yes, Dr. Jill. Anyone else? No, there are two people that I want you to connect with, two groups. Nobody said the second one yet. I'm going to give it another 5 seconds. Okay, we'll get into it. Connecting with the right people to grow and maintain your practice is a game changer. Existing clients, yes, Melanie. The people who you serve, here's the second one, the people who refer to you, right? The people who you refer to. These are the people who you need to connect with, and you need to continue to connect with over and over and over again to avoid the leaky bucket mess. Think Sally, okay? Let's go back to Sally land. So Sally happened, here's the thing, here's my promise to you. If Dr. Ron is prepared for Sally, everything else is cake, okay? If Melanie is prepared for Sally, everything else is cake. Prepare for Sally. Sally has hobbies, she's got providers, and she's got merchants that she frequents. This is your list. It's your natural list of who you need to focus on when it comes to connecting with people in your community. So Sally's hobbies: tennis, pool, hair salon, golf league, chess club, women's club, church, and yoga. Okay? Sally's providers: OBGYN, dentist, primary, ear doctor, therapist, podiatrist, nutritionist. Sally's merchants: the health food store, Lululemon, nail salon, bookstore, game store, Hallmark. Okay. This is your list of who you're going to be reaching out to when you do your events. And with the natural practice growth process that we talked about earlier, these names are going to start repeating themselves. You're going to, because you're attracting a specific type of practice member, you're going to hear about the same OBGYN over and over and over again. If you hear a name twice in your office, you need to write the name down and put them on your list of people to connect with. Let me also just, by the way, a knowledge drop for you. When you connect with these people, these doctors, these attorneys, these therapists, whoever it is, shut your mouth. I'm saying that with all the love of my heart. Shut your mouth and open your ears and open your heart. Let them tell you all about it, because whoever listens to the practitioner, be the person that calls and wants to hear about their practice. It's not the time to tell them about who you are and what you do. Your first point of connection with these people that you're reaching out to is you listening to them. Show them how you can be of service. If you show them, they'll trust you, right? One of my favorite sayings is, when people show you who they are, believe them. Show them who you are. When you reach out to these, don't go blah, 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 and word vomit all over them. They're not going to be attracted to your care, I promise. So Sally, if you miss the details with Sally from the very beginning, you're going to miss all of the opportunities that come along with the details. Don't miss them. The community. You're going to see the patterns arise. You're going to see a community form. You want to nourish and connect and grow with that community. Whatever you need to do to nourish that community, do it. A community of referral relationships, all catering to your ideal client, will feed and fuel your practice for years to come. You guys, I have a waitlist practice. I have not had to market my practice in years. I have not done a spinal screening in years. It's just, it naturally happens because I take care of my ideal practice members. Our system will teach you how to do that. Okay, let's keep going. So Dr. Robin Crouch, another one of our students, I was blown away by what I learned in Dr. Jody's program. I think I've learned more in the past few months about practice success than in the past 20 years. She does really cool work. She actually coaches adults with ADD and helps them find solutions. So she loves what we teach in Soup School. Here's the thing from me to you. If you take one thing away from what I just talked about, I want you to know that you really can double your practice without working more or hiring staff. I promise you that's true. The big question now is, how can you apply what we just talked about to your own experience, to your own practice, and create a full schedule with less work to do at the end of the day? Think about it for a minute. If you take the voicemail message funnel or a time map or connecting with your referral partners, how can that shape shift your practice experience? I want you out of the crazed Dr. Chrissy experience, and I want you more like totally together Tammy. It's time for you to take the guesswork out of the practice systems management and truly thrive with the right systems. To automate your systems so that you can save time, energy, and money. To connect with the right people to fill your practice with ease and continuity without having to hire staff to manage things. As you get busy, you're gonna need helping hands. You're gonna need to hire people who are really good at what they do. But wouldn't it be cool if you only had people on your team who do what they're very good at doing, as opposed to throwing everything in one person's direction and hoping the right things will stick for them? I want to welcome you to Soup School. We're going to talk all about it. This is our online finishing school for wellness practitioners. If you are already a Soup student, this is the point in the presentation that you can go enjoy the rest of your day. If you're interested to hear about our online program for wellness practitioners, then hang tight. I'm going to tell you all about it, how you can grab a seat today, and all of the bonuses that we're offering. So the cool thing is that the Soup School seats are still open. We're actually about to close the seats because we're just about full. And what Soup School is we go through preparation, automation, and connection, and we have courses on each. It's about 400 hours of recorded content that we're consistently adding to. If you look at the image on the left of your screen, these are all of the teachers that are currently hanging out in Soup School and teaching the courses with me. Basically, what happened in spring of 2020, I saw a need to step up and serve and to give solutions for practicing without staff. I called all of the people who are so much better than me at what they do. So Cash Practice, Mission Driven Chiropractor, Russ Rosen, the Chiro Collective, Dr. Danielle Eaton, Dr. Barbara Eaton, the Bulletproof Chiro, like all of the compliance people and the marketing people and the Instagram people and the Facebook people, all of the people who know so much more than I do. So I teach about 60% of Soup School, and the other 40% is taught by people who specialize in what they do all day long. This is a list of our courses inside of Soup School. We've got the toolkit, which prepares you for practice. We've got Checklist Haven. Seriously, we're giving you every checklist you could ever need to run a staffless practice successfully and automated. Communication Station is all about how to take your phone and turn it into your office manager. Soup Marketing Academy, Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 is foundational pieces of marketing. Part 2 is how to take what your foundational pieces and brand it and share it with the world. The abundance-driven practice is more preparation. It's about money and time balance. What fees should you have? What should your product ladder look like? How do you talk about money? When do you talk about money? How do you balance your time? How do you do a time map? All of that is in the abundance-driven practice. And then my favorite part of Soup School is the happy client experience. How do you ensure that you're happy in your office and in practice, and that your practice members are happy in your office and in practice? What do you do? What are the steps you need to take? What are your check-in systems about all of that? You guys, all of it is in Soup School. It's all about joy-filled practice experience with automation front and center. If you have staff in your practice, awesome, I love it. Have them walk through Soup School. So enrollment is now open, and I want to give you a bird's eye view of what you're getting today because the deal is amazing. So we're giving you the Staffless Practice Success System, which we've talked about. We're giving you the Club at Staffless Practice, and we're giving you today's fast action bonus, which we'll get into in a minute. So the coolest thing about Soup School is it's you pay once and it's yours for life. I don't take it away in a year, because what I find as we add and we add and we add to Soup School, like we just added a marketing tracker. When you do marketing events for your practice, how do you track how successful those marketing events were? How do you go back and look at if that's something that you want to do again next year? That's one of the lessons that we just added to Soup School. Every time I add a lesson to Soup School, whether it's me teaching it or one of our partners teaching it, it increases the value of Soup School. But if you grab a seat to Soup School today, you get all of that added value for a lifetime. It's the proven method that prepares you for practice, teaches you practice success automation, and shows you exactly how to connect with the right people. So the Club at Staffless Practice is our support program. We have Marco Polo, which is like a video texting app back and forth with yours truly. My one-on-one strategy work is $1,000 an hour. I'm just going to say that. My heart sits right on my sleeve. Marco Polo is free with your Soup School seat. I'm basically giving you strategy sessions one-on-one for free for your entire first year in Soup School. You also get matched with an accountability buddy when you come into Soup School, somebody who is looking for the same type of solutions that you're looking for. We have a little questionnaire that we have you fill out, and we match you accordingly. And then we have tons of amazing events. Like, for example, yesterday we did Geek Out with Alex. Our Soup students were able, he's from Jane app. He's like the guy in Jane to help with all of the systems and to learn how to use the program. No, you do not need to be a Jane app user or use any of the other programs that we partner with in order to get the most out of Soup School. These are just extras, you guys. But our students get to sit in the Zoom room when we have these meetings. So you guys get a ton of perks as a club member at Staffless Practice. The fast action bonus, let's go over it. So it's called the SOP training, and it's basically a Trello course. Trello is Trello's kind of like Outlook meets index cards meets Post-it notes all online. It's an organization system for your practice. Let's say that let's say that something happened, and I'm actually just going to play this video while I talk. There we go. Let's say something happened and you needed to leave your practice, and you needed the person who is stepping into your practice to have access to all of your things. That's your SOP. A lot of practitioners have an SOP on a Google Drive or in a document that's typed out in a few different notebooks. We keep the SOP on a Trello board, and I give you access to my SOP, and I let you copy it and make your own SOP. Here's the budget that I was telling you guys about earlier. All of this is in the Trello SOP. And then I also teach you how to get this Trello board, how to add to the Trello board, how to personalize it. The only thing I am going to mention is that you want to make sure that if you're using Trello, you're not using last names or phone numbers when it comes to your clients. Like, it's not HIPAA compliant. That's the only downfall of Trello, but it has so many amazing benefits and perks. Time map is on here. Daily, weekly, monthly tasks are on here. You're practicing your marketing your practice throughout the whole year is on here. This is like a to-do list on steroids that I created for you guys. It's all automated. Let's say you want to do yoga every Monday. It shows up on your Monday grid, and then you just check off as you go. And this is the SOP for Trello. So let me just get out of this. There we go. And then we have Practice Enjoy. So Practice Enjoy is the newest addition to our bonus system. And with Practice Enjoy, basically what we're doing is we're walking through Soup School with you. So we're starting Practice Enjoy the second Monday of March. So it's starting next, is that next? It's the Monday after next, and we're going to go through our preparation pillar. So we're going to go through the Superstar Toolkit with our students, and we're going to go through the abundance driven practice. And each week we have a list of what you need to do for Soup School for that week. And I always tell people, give yourself about 2 hours a week as you go through the Practice Enjoy program with us. So this again comes with your Soup School seat. To get into Soup School, you're going to go to stafflesspractice.com/register. The wonderful Marge is going to put this in the chat box now. You're going to see something that looks like this. You want to make sure it's going to ask for a promo code so that we know to give you the SOP. You got to put the letters SOP in your promo code, and then we'll know to give you the SOP. Okay. Oh, let me just go back for a minute. When you go get into Soup School and you grab your seat, you fill out your application, and after payment, you're going to see where you put your promo code. So the doors are officially open. Da-da! If you hear the angels singing, there they are. Oh, there they are again. Okay. So you can get started with a seat for Soup School for $265. Seriously, $265. That's it. So let's go over the fees just for a minute. Just to reiterate, you get Soup School, you get instant access, you get community support, you get the fast action bonus, you get the club at Staffless Practice, and you want to use the promo code SOP. 2 payment options, guys. One is you can pay monthly for 12 months. First payment would be today. $265 a month for 12 months. You get all of the things, right? Or you can pay in full $26.50. I want you to remember that it's a one-time payment and you get to keep it for the rest of your life. The only thing that needs to be renewed is our support program, which I promise will never be more than $100 a month. You get it for free your first year. The question isn't whether or not you'll make your money back, it's how many times over will you be able to do it. So here's the thing, my promise is that you can really double your practice if you follow my lead. So if you double your practice, will you make that $26.50 back? How much is one client sale for you? So if I think about Sally, if Sally comes into my office, my initial consultation is $200. And then Sally's probably going to sign up for one of the things that we give you in Soup School is the New Client Academy, and we tell you how to set your, how to classify what Sally is looking for, how to offer her the right care plan, and how to talk to her about money, all from an automated point of view, right? So if you're talking to Sally and you're saying, Sally, I want to see you 3 times a week for a month and 2 times a week for 2 months, whatever it is, how much is one sale for you? And you can go ahead and drop that in the chat. Oh, Marge already put the link in. Thanks, Marge. Yay, Marge. Everybody just take a minute and send love to Marge because she's so incredible. Yes, I have a staff member, you guys. I actually have two, and they're my right hand and my left hand. They don't come into my office. They're all virtual, and I'm going to teach you how to build that relationship because it's incredible. And that's Marge. Marge makes the world go round. Marge is giving love. Usually the answer to this question is about $500. So if you pay $265 today, how many clients would it take you to make that back? That's the question that you want to ask yourself. Dr. Melissa says, Dr. Jody is incredibly helpful and will respond almost like she has nothing else to do but to take care of you. That is true. I give my students my world, and I make sure that you guys don't go without. That's my promise to you. Soup School, Molly is actually the person who comes into Soup School and teaches about Instagram. She's the Instagram queen. She's incredible. And she teaches you guys so much about what to do and what not to do when it comes to Instagram. And she says, Soup School is an organized system of life hacks. I love it. So you're going to go to stafflesspractice.com/register. This is what you're going to see on the screen. You're going to choose, I want to either pay $26.50 or $265 for 12 months, whichever works better for you. And then you want to use promo code SOP. So my promise to you is that you have 30 days to try our program. If you can show me that you tried it and you really don't love it, I'm going to give you your money back. But you only have 30 days because I can't give you all of this content and let it be out there. And then the cool thing though is that we haven't had to deal with this. This has not been an issue for us, but there has to be some kind of a guarantee in it. And that's my guarantee to you. I promise you're going to love what we have in Soup School though. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and set this timer because I have a tendency to go on, and I'm going to open it up to questions. You have another 9 minutes and 52 seconds to get all of the bonuses that we're offering today. If you go to stafflesspractice.com/register and you choose which way you want to pay, and then we'll have you in your seat for Soup School in a matter of minutes. And then you and I will actually meet in Marco Polo, and we'll determine where to start in Soup School. I will urge you to join the Joy-Filled Practice program and move through the pillars of Soup School together with us throughout the year, because it really is a phenomenal program. Okay, who has what questions? Is this just for chiropractors? No! The coupon code isn't working for me. It says today's payment is $660. Here's the thing, Melanie. You're just uncheck the box. So when you when you choose monthly, it's going to default to having a one-on-one call with me. If you don't want that one-on-one call, just uncheck the box and it'll go to $265. I promise. As far as chiropractors versus other practitioners, when we were starting Soup School, I actually wrote the bulk of Soup School for women in practice. So every once in a while, you'll find me saying, listen, ladies, but it really, at this point, we're like 50-50 men to women, right? So it is for wellness practitioners from all over the world. We've got chiropractors, PTs, OTs, acupuncturists, herbologists. We even have a pharmacist in Soup School. Today, I had a learning resource center that wants a seat in Soup School. Call me. And a lot of these people will end up doing strategy work with me too, because they want me to meet one-on-one with their team. A lot of people have their team walk through Soup School to automate their process, so that when Beth comes and sits at your front desk, she's truly only doing for $20 an hour what she is really talented with doing. Who else has questions? Who are the other teachers in Soup School? I love talking about our teachers. So just for a minute, Dr. Russ Rosen talks about the importance of certainty. He teaches a whole course on it. Shaylin Osborne talks about hiring, training, firing. Janice Hughes talks about money management. How do you manage your money? How do you plan for retirement? How do you sell your practice? How do you talk about money? Dr. Barbara Eaton talks about having courage around money and time. Dr. Danielle Eaton comes in and talks about having creating an online course for your practice members. We're also in the process of recording new content with my buddy Robbie from South Africa, and he does a ton of really cool stuff when it comes to creating online courses too. We've got Dr. Robin Hale, who comes in and talks about compliance, because you know that you don't want to learn compliance from me. Dr. Friedman comes in and talks about, Greg Friedman from Bulletproof Cairo comes in and talks about how to take a compliant note. And everything that we have in Soup School, we make it relevant, independent of what kind of practice you're running. As long as you have in common, you want to enjoy practice, you want to automate your practice experience, and you serve wellness care, then Soup School's a fit for you. Can you repeat what you said about the code not working? Yeah, so if you go to grab a seat to Soup School right now, it's going to automatically default to having a one-on-one session with me, which I think it's like a $400 session. If you just uncheck that you don't want that session, you'll see that the price for $265 shows up. And Marge, if you want to tag these guys separately just so that they can get the $265 a month offer, I promise you guys will get you in for that. Most of our students, when they start with us, they want to do a one-on-one call with me, and it's like a 30-minute call for like $400. But if you don't want to do that, just uncheck that box. Okay, so 5 minutes and 47 seconds left. What other questions do you guys have? Melanie, did you figure it out? Okay, cool. Melanie, if you just signed up for Soup School, go ahead and download Marco Polo on your phone and send me a message. And it really, this goes for all of you guys. SOP is working. Just type in the word SOP, my love. That's all you need to do when it comes to filling out your application. I promise you, you guys, the system works, because we truly walk our walk every time. Other questions? Marge has got you both. So go ahead and download Marco Polo and send me a message and let me know what's your current biggest pain point, and I'll tell you exactly where to start in Soup School. Okay, what if I don't have Jane app? Right, so as I mentioned before, you guys do not need to have our partner programs for Soup School to be relevant to you. Let's say that you're an old time physical therapist, you're an old timer, you take notes on paper, you use a phone that goes ring, ring, ring like a landline, right? You have a fax machine from 1980, like all of those things are true. If you move through Soup School, it will still be relevant to you, just as relevant as the 29-year-old who just started practice and it knows more about being online and tech stuff than I do. Both of those people are served in Soup School as long as your focus is wellness and you want to automate things during your practice. What other questions do you guys have for me? What if you don't grab a seat today? Great question. Okay, so if you're not grabbing a seat today, you're just not going to get the bonuses. And I don't want to see that for you. The other thing is that we are going to be closing our seats temporarily very soon because we're adding so much to Soup School. This is definitely the time to grab a seat. And you guys, it's $265 a month. Did I mention that? Super, super cost effective. Okay, any other questions? What do we do in the 30-minute session? So some of our Soup students they've got a lot of balls in the air and they really want the direction. They want the one-on-one time with me to get started. So I made it as cost effective as possible to have that time as soon as you start with Soup School. If you don't feel like you need a half hour with me, then just meet me in Marco Polo and we'll ping back and forth in a video message conversation and I'll get you started. I'll make sure that you're comfy, cozy in your seat. If you want an accountability buddy, there's a place on the application to indicate that and we'll match you immediately. What if I'm not on Facebook? That question actually comes up a lot, Liz. So what we do on Facebook is we use our Facebook group for our Soup students as an announcement area, but we also text you the announcements and we email you the announcements too. I totally respect that there are students who just want nothing to do with Facebook and we make it so that everything's just as accessible to you. But some people use Facebook as like their main place to go to find all of the things and we want to make sure that you have access to that too. Okay, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. How do I find you on Marco Polo? Melanie, you're gonna get, Melanie, I already love you. You're gonna get an email from me that gives you a link to our help page. If you go on Marco Polo, just download the app on your phone. This is on our help page too, but we don't give that link out to unless you're a student. So just hang like 5 minutes and you'll get an email from me. Marge, if you want to go ahead and send that, you're welcome to. And then you're going to use the phone number that is associated with our Marco Polo account. And I promise I'll give that to you. Marge, you can private message her too. That's perfect. Okay, 1 minute and 46 seconds. Tell us more about you. About me? Well, I wear a lot of different hats, and as I said, I'm an expert mistake maker and solution creator. I make mistakes at least 10 times a day. And what I've learned to do in my senior days, you guys can see my grays, is to say, oh, cool, here's another learning opportunity when I fall down and get hurt. I am really good at figuring out what works and what doesn't. And the word on the street is that these solutions work for a whole lot of practitioners. People are really loving their experience in Soup School, and I know that you are going to too. I have 2 boys, Kai and Quinn. I've got a puppy named Kuna. Kai is actually right now, you guys just send courage and strength to him. He's trying to get into the CrossFit Games. He's amazing. Quinny is the love of my life. If you come to any seminars or conventions that I'm book signing at or speaking at, he's usually with me. He's a future chiropractor. I'm married to my best friend. It was love at first sight 30 years ago. And I do what I love and I love what I do. That's me. And I'm here in New Jersey and we got 30 seconds left, 29 seconds left. Any last minute questions? Okay. I hope that you guys learned at least 20 things today. I hope that you guys learned at least 50 million things today. And if you think of any questions and you didn't want to ask them in a public forum, go ahead and reach out to me. I know a lot of you are still on. You're welcome to shoot me a text, whatever you want to do. I love questions. Melanie, you're going to get an email in a minute. I'm not sure how many of you guys signed up for school, but I promise you within the next 10 minutes, you'll get an email with all the details you could possibly need. And I'm loving you guys from here. Thanks for spending the time with me and make today count. I'll talk to you soon.